Welcome back to Lamoda Academy, Indonesia. You're here with me, Gayu, and Lizzie. Let's continue with today's lesson. In this video, we will directly discuss the body measurements required to draft a women's basic bodice pattern using the Indonesian pattern system. One important point to note is that all body measurements must be taken accurately without adding any ease. Ease is not added during the measurement process, as it will be added later during pattern construction, before the pattern is adjusted and modified according to the garment design. Below is the list of required body measurements for drafting the Indonesian basic bodice pattern, along with sample measurements that you can use for practicing formula calculations.
To draft the basic Indonesian bodice pattern, we start by taking the main circumferences, the neck, bust, waist, and hips. Next, we measure the armhole and shoulder length. Then we move on to the vertical measurements, including the front length, side length, and back length. We also take the front and back widths, along with important bust measurements, such as bust height and bust point distance. Finally, we measure the hip height to complete the set of measurements. These are sample measurements that you can use to practice calculating the pattern drafting formulas, which we will discuss in the next video. These measurements represent a medium size for Asian body proportions and approximately an extra small size in UK sizing. The neck circumference is 36 centimeters, the bust circumference is 85 centimeters, and the waist circumference is 67 centimeters. The hip circumference is 94 centimeters, followed by an armhole circumference of 40 centimeters. The shoulder length measures 13 centimeters. The front length is 36 centimeters with a front width of 33 centimeters. The bust height is 20 centimeters and the bust point distance is 18 centimeters. The side length measures 19 centimeters. Finally, the back length is 40 centimeters, the back width is 35 centimeters, and the hip height is 19 centimeters.
So, that concludes our discussion on the body measurements required to create a basic women's bodice pattern using the Indonesian system. In the next video, we will move directly into the pattern drafting formulas, followed by a step-by-step walkthrough of how to create the basic women's bodice pattern using the Indonesian system.
That wraps up this topic. Thank you for learning with me and Lizzie at Lamoda Academy, Indonesia. We'll continue in the next video. See you in the next lesson.